So this was part of a wider project looking at how people value trees outside of woodlands, the socio-cultural values that people hold in relation to these trees. We wanted to look at dead and decaying trees because they're so important for habitat, for nutrient cycling, for so many different reasons. But what we were being told by our project advisory group and other people we were talking to is that sometimes site managers don't understand whether people that are visiting the sites value them or whether they don't like seeing them, or whether sometimes when they get complaints about them, are those complaints representative of the general visitor population. So we decided we wanted to investigate that. So we worked across 3 sites in a gradient of formality to ask people if they value these dead and decaying trees, what they value about them, and just generally how do they perceive them, to help the site managers understand what's acceptable from a visitor point of view when you're sort of talking about retaining or managing these trees in the landscape.
The research was really important for us to take part in because we've been trying really hard to conserve as much deadwood habitat on site, and we have a lot of decaying trees as well and veteran trees with those features in addition to deadwood. But we weren't sure if our visitors seeing the deadwood that we've been leaving in place more and more, whether they were appreciating its value, whether they thought it was unsightly.
So the key findings, one of the most interesting was that the majority of visitors to these sites are either positive or neutral about the visible dead and decaying trees in the landscape. And the other thing is that most people notice things like the patterns, the shapes, the structure, things that are growing on the trees as attributes of the trees in these landscapes, and negative attributes weren't really mentioned very much at all.
So at the National Trust we really want to manage our land in a way that's supported by the latest conservation and social science. So being able to get involved in this research project was a really great way of adding to that knowledge base directly and getting access to really insightful results that will be able to strengthen the way we're currently managing our landscape, because it proves that people are actually more positive about that deadwood in place, so that strengthens our policies and how we've been leaving it and enhancing it, and it also shows the need for more education to the public on the specific values of deadwood.
So if you want to find out more, we've got a project webpage which has got lots of different outputs on it from all the different aspects of the project, including this Dead and Decaying Trees project. And there's a briefing, very accessible 2-page briefing note with some images, and then a longer report which spell out the findings in more detail.